This chart compares the gross margins of traditional software as a service companies with the new reality of AI businesses in 2026. Historically, SaaS companies enjoyed margins between 80 and 90%. Today, AI companies are seeing those margins compress to between 50 and 60%. The compression happens because AI monetization is a three-body problem: your product, how users interact with it, and the underlying compute costs are three separate forces moving independently. Every time a user interacts with an AI feature, it burns actual compute. Every inference has a literal price tag attached to it. Traditional software was a passive tool. You paid a flat monthly fee to access a database and a user interface, and the cost to the provider was nearly zero. An AI agent is an active digital worker. When it executes a task, it consumes resources. Because each action correlates to a variable cost, the economic model of charging a flat fee per human seat breaks down. Selling fixed-price subscriptions for software that incurs highly variable execution costs will actively destroy a company's profit margin. In March of 2026, Oracle restructured its multi-billion-dollar Fusion Cloud suite into what they call agentic applications. They re-engineered their entire enterprise software portfolio to execute tasks autonomously rather than waiting for user input. Legacy copilots function as assistants that require a human prompt to generate an email draft or summarize a document. Agentic applications operate with supervised autonomy. They possess the shared context, memory, and built-in governance to run a multi-step business process end-to-end without human intervention. To support this, Oracle abandoned per-user licensing. They introduced a single consumption metric called action units. Action units are Oracle's single consumption metric, each worth approximately 1 cent, that are consumed at different rates depending on the complexity of the AI work executed. This reallocates the human workforce. Instead of typing purchase orders or gathering data, human employees are shifted to high-impact exception handling, strategic negotiation, and risk tolerance assessment. The enterprise standard has moved from systems of record to systems of execution. Corporations are no longer just purchasing access to software. They are purchasing the execution of defined business outcomes. To make language models execute these tasks, you need an orchestration layer. This layer manages the logic and tool calls required for an LLM to interact with external data environments. LLM stands for Large Language Model, an AI system trained to process and generate human language based on vast datasets. This is Gumloop's node-based architecture. Users drag and drop modular logic blocks, connect a web scraper to an AI reasoning node, then to a publishing node, or simply describe your objective, and the assistant, Gummy, automatically populates the entire workflow sequence. This architecture enables smart model routing, a technique that dynamically selects the most cost-effective language model for a specific subtask. You can route basic data extraction to a cheaper, faster model, while reserving a premium, high-reasoning model for complex analysis, cutting per-conversation costs significantly. Visual orchestration democratizes engineering impact, allowing a solo operator or marketing manager to build bespoke, multi-model execution engines in a matter of minutes. It gives non-technical users the ability to solve their own complex operational problems. For scenarios requiring deep, stateful complexity and granular control, developers turn to code-first orchestration. This is the domain of Crew AI. This breaks down Crew AI's core architecture. It relies on a manager-worker pattern. A central orchestrator agent assesses the overall objective, dynamically delegating specific subtasks to a specialized crew of worker agents, like researchers and writers, each with defined tool access. Long-running autonomous agents present massive security and compliance risks for large organizations. If left unbounded, an agent with access to internal databases could execute unauthorized actions or leak sensitive information. Crew AI addresses this by integrating with secure runtime environments like NVIDIA NemoClaw. NemoClaw is a security layer that enforces infrastructure-level privacy controls, policy constraints, and clear audit trails for every action an agent attempts. By pairing hierarchical reasoning with strict infrastructure-level policy enforcement, autonomous systems can operate safely in high-stakes corporate environments. Consider the baseline economics of a traditional service agency.
An agency managing 10 clients might generate $600,000 in annual revenue, but they are weighed down by $450,000 in personnel costs to service those accounts, leaving a fragile profit margin of roughly $50,000. An AI-first solo operator handles the exact same $600,000 client load, replacing the 5-person payroll with a $500 per month stack of AI orchestration tools. By removing the management overhead of a team, the operator retains upwards of $525,000 in net profit. That $500 monthly stack consists of 3 specific line items: API compute operational expenses, individual model subscriptions, and orchestration platform fees. This creates a new business equation. Your net profit is now the total of your client retainers, minus the combined cost of your software stack, your compute usage, and the human time required to audit the AI's output. Operational scale is now completely decoupled from human headcount. Solo operators can consistently command enterprise-grade profit margins between 85% and 95%. The most lucrative targets for these deployments are high-stakes local niches, like law firms and medical clinics. In these businesses, human time is expensive, and a missed incoming call often equals thousands of dollars in lost revenue. This flowchart details the architecture of an AI appointment setter, acting as a 24/7 digital receptionist. An inbound call routes through a lead qualification node, passes through a specific logic gate, and then triggers a direct booking via a calendar API. An API, or application programming interface, is a set of protocols that allows different software applications to communicate and share data with each other. The agent qualifies leads based on firm-specific criteria. If the inquiry meets the firm's requirements, the agent interacts with the calendar API to instantly secure a consultation slot. The underlying orchestration framework guarantees strict adherence to the TCPA and local bar association guidelines. The TCPA, or Telephone Consumer Protection Act, is a federal statute that strictly regulates telemarketing calls, autodialers, and artificial or pre-recorded voice messages. The framework maintains compliance by forcing the agent to rely only on pre-approved reasoning scripts. By automating the friction of client intake, the AI agent eliminates a major revenue leak. It transforms a heavy administrative cost center into a continuous growth engine. Charging by the hour is mathematically broken in this model. When an AI executes complex work in seconds, selling your time will actively bankrupt your agency. The 2026 standard is the agent licensing model. Under this structure, an agent charges a heavy upfront setup fee, often around $20,000, combined with a mandatory monthly recurring license fee of $2,000 to keep the agent running. That monthly fee is a structural necessity. It protects the agency's margins against unexpected API token spikes, necessary infrastructure upgrades, and logic drift as the underlying models update. Before quoting that final build price, agencies deploy the AI Audit Gateway. They sell a $5,000 initial assessment that maps out the exact workflows to be automated and quantifies the projected labor savings. In the agentic economy, pricing is anchored exclusively to the economic value of the outcome delivered. It is never based on the literal cost of the raw compute or the hardware required to execute the task. To enter this market, you must avoid the paralysis of over-automation. The most effective starting point is building a simple, high-utility proof of concept. A proven day-one architecture is a competitor monitoring agent built in a visual platform like Gumloop, scheduled to trigger automatically every day at 8 a.m. The logic sequence is straightforward. Web scraper nodes pull pricing pages from target competitors. An AI reasoning node then compares the fresh text against historical database records to detect any hidden feature additions or price adjustments. The final output node formats the AI's findings into a structured alert. It then pushes that alert directly into the client's internal Slack channel for competitive intelligence. The sales motion for this is precise. You record a 3-minute video demonstrating this exact flow running on the prospect's actual competitor data. You send it via direct message, followed by a soft ask for a 12-minute screen share to discuss the results. While the generative era was focused on learning to write prompts, the agentic era is driven by execution. The operators who map out and build these workflows first will capture the 90% margins formerly held by labor-intensive